Hello, this is John Miller, the creator of this podcast. Now, the rest of Everest is probably the most in-depth look at just what it takes to climb the world's highest peak. But keep in mind that it is a series. And if you're checking out the podcast for the first time, do yourself a favor, go back to episode 0 and watch everything in order. That's really the right way to enjoy it. Thanks so much.
This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 72, Lhasa.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest video podcast. I'm John Miller, joined as always with Scott Jacobs out in California. How's it going, Scott?
It's going well. Hi, everyone.
All right, so this week we actually get into Lhasa. This is going to be very cool. I want to remind everyone that there are still t-shirts for sale. However, I did place an order, and if you've ordered a t-shirt and you haven't gotten it yet, it's just because it's having to make its way from Kathmandu. All right, enough of that. This week we are going to get into some really cool stuff. Everyone watch this series, but don't just leave it there. Go there. Go to Tibet. I'm telling you, go to Tibet. Buy your ticket now because it's slowly disappearing. The true Tibet, it's turning into China. So, but it's not China yet. It's still Tibet. So let's go see it. Here we go.
So guys, I snap a lot of photos. If it gets annoying, just tell me to stop.
Yeah.
Just say.
Or you can ask for any. You can ask for stop at any time.
Okay.
If you want to take pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karma.
Yeah.
Babu Sherpa.
Did misunderstood.
Did Babu tell you that I am filming?
Yeah.
Karma got me Lobsang, contracted out with Lobsang because he wanted to give me the very best.
Friend of Babu, right?
Yes. Yes. Do you know Lawang? Dandup? No? Okay. Yeah, I was with...
I know his wife, actually.
Oh, yeah? I was with Nomad for an Everest expedition in 2003 on the north side. So I know them very well.
You mean from Nepal side?
No, north side. Tibet.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Karma got me the best guide that he works with because he knew I was going to be filming everything for all of you. So
You can see how the architecture...
that's how he got me Lobsang.
That's very Tibetan.
I was so thrilled to be back in Tibet. There's just something about Tibet that, for me, it just really clicks with me. And it's very difficult to explain, but I just feel so at home in Tibet.
I try to explain it to my friends because I know I'm feeling close to, if not the same, but in my own way, it's just a resonance. And every once in a while, I can still feel it resonating. It's difficult. Tibet is amazing, truly amazing.
There's actually a viewer who I exchanged several emails with, probably about a year ago, and
That's very big.
yeah, we can see there's the Potala Palace. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Just right there. But she said that I might have some sort of karma related to Tibet. And I had never thought of it that way, and I believe that. I had some connection with Tibet before I'd even visited Tibet in this lifetime. And I truly believe that, because that 2003 expedition changed my life. I'm glad because I can share it all with everyone watching right now.
So if you notice, we're driving through the western end of Lhasa, which is very Chinese. This is Chinese development. And this is the main thoroughfare, of course. We're going to cross into the eastern section, which they call Old Tibet, or, the Tibetan quarter. And really is where the heart of Lhasa lies, in my opinion.
So you can see the buildings and how modern they are and everything, but just keep in mind that we're above 12,000 feet right here. Lhasa is very high. Kathmandu is about 3,000, 3,500 feet. And then suddenly you take this hour, just over an hour long flight, and from then on out, you're minimum elevation of 12,000 feet. And it's all very strictly controlled. So this is basically we get into sort of a pedestrian mall.
So you are in the center of Lhasa. Sometimes people call this area as Old Lhasa.
Old Lhasa.
Where you will find more Tibetans than Chinese.
We've listened to this CD many times.
I'm laughing because I had a few occasions to buy potatoes, fried potatoes from a woman right at this spot. She put the greatest spices on them, and I'd go down and buy it for I think 1 yuan, which was about 10 cents. But I stopped by many times.
Yeah. Most of the vehicles that the tourists are brought in are Toyota Land Cruisers. So you see just fleets of Toyota Land Cruisers. They are definitely the vehicle of choice.
It was great to have too, because I think the only paved road that we drove on was from the airport to Lhasa. No, that can't be correct. But we were off paved road quite a bit.
95% of the time, yeah, definitely. And we got lost a couple times.
Driving across the Tibetan plateau at night, lost.
Having to stop in people's homes to say, "Are we in the right road?"
But the great thing, they would come out and be happy, at least outwardly happy, to give directions.
Absolutely.
This is the hotel.
So this is our hotel, the Mandala Hotel. In a great room, I think it was the 3rd floor, and facing the structure across the street, which is called the Jokhang, and described as the heart of Tibetan Buddhism.
Yes.
It's one of the most treasured temples in Tibetan Buddhism.
There it is on the right there.
Really, really special for me, at least. I got a great feeling from it.
Yep. Again, see, Scott's got control of the visa. Guard that white piece of paper with your life. You don't see it too much here, but one thing that we discovered is that Lobsang is a ladies' man.
He truly was.
He liked the ladies, and let me tell you, the ladies like Lobsang. I have footage of it in future episodes. He flirts.
Yeah. What you don't see is the just overt flirting that happens between these two as we leave, and every woman that he runs into. It's great.
This is, just one more way that, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, people are pretty much the same.
I don't think it matters where you are in the world. We call that he's got skill.
Yeah. Still wearing my kata. Now it was cold in here too, because what we eventually learned was that these buildings are not heated. They're just not heated. Your rooms are not heated. Doesn't matter where you are, they're just not heated. So it was always cold. But luckily they had... Oh, go ahead.
As excited as we were too, I had to consciously slow myself down. We just climbed 3 very short flights of stairs at 12,000 feet. And I remember feeling slightly lightheaded right at this moment, thinking,
I've got
okay.
footage of you here, yeah. This was a great room.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the temple. Good location.
Yeah.
So we're in our hotel, I think it's called the Hotel Mandala in Lhasa. And we are right across the street from everything. It's just amazing. And coming up the stairs there, I could definitely feel the altitude. We are definitely at 12,000 feet, or almost 3,700 meters.
Very good.
Yeah, it's nice, huh? You feel it coming up the stairs?
Out of breath.
Yeah. So, do you stay at home?
Yeah, I stay
Yeah?
at home. It's just like 5 minutes away
Five-
from this hotel.
This is a nice hotel.
So
Actually, you have got a good location actually.
yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
So tonight it's no problem to wander around on our own.
Yeah, yeah.
We can walk around.
We have a program actually
Oh, okay.
for the evening.
Great.
Like we are supposed to visit this temple in the evening.
Perfect.
Then we'll go, if you say like we will go for a walk around this market. It's nice.
Okay.
Do you know what the weather will be like the next 2 days?
I'm not sure about the weather actually. It changed.
Yeah.
Yesterday it wasn't like this. It was like in the morning it was very clear weather, very hot weather. But I mean after the noon, it has totally changed.
Well, in Nepal,
But
you could
but
not
still-
see. You could not. No, very cloudy.
yeah, but still it's very warm. I mean, it's getting really warm these days.
Can I
What
see?
a great hotel. What a great. Look at that.
So this is the Jokong temple.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
look
is
at...
one of the oldest temple in Tibet. I mean, Buddhist temple.
Mm-hmm.
Oldest temple. One of the oldest temple in Tibet.
Oh, this is great.
I will ask them what time they will close the temple.
Okay.
Yeah, I think till 6.
Oh, we had better go then.
Yeah.
I took a lot of photos, so it
Yeah.
took a long time.
So have a rest for a while.
Sure. It's gorgeous. Everything's colorful. It's
And you notice that everyone's walking clockwise.
yes. This too.
Everyone's walking clockwise around the temple.
If you look at the windows, things around the windows. The walls themselves are whitewashed, but you look at the top and the bottom and the sides of the windows, and they're very ornate. Yeah, a lot of different colors.
And one of the more important things right now is that we are over 12,000 feet in altitude in our hotel room.
I'm feeling wonderful, but I just took the one flight of stairs, 2 steps at a time, which is what I normally do, because if I take them one at a time, they're just too short. And I was out of breath.
Yep.
My chest started pounding.
Oh, this is so exciting.
So for the first time since arriving in Asia, it's cold enough to put my shoes on, which is probably for the best. It's probably a good idea to put my shoes on. I haven't worn socks in several days. It's going to be nice.
Oh, I love socks.
Plus, shoes will keep
You have been wearing the sandals for quite a
grime
while.
off of your feet, which tends to be a problem in these countries. And then, you know, I end up touching my feet and then licking my fingers for whatever reason. And that probably is just going to kill me. No matter where in the world I go, I bring a little bit of my wife with me as hair stuck in all my clothing from the laundry. She's been all over the world with me, even though she's never personally accompanied me on any of my trips. So it's always nice to see a little bit of Heidi wherever I go.
It is nice.
Now I just need to find my razor. I can shave. Clean up a little bit. You didn't happen to see my razor in any of your stuff, did you?
No, no.
The duffel bags turn into black holes. They swallow everything in sight. My kata? What do you... Okay, so I'll show you the advisory on the door in a second. The police advisory, which Scott is going to have to pay close attention to and make sure he doesn't.
No.
You'll get that joke in a second, everyone.
Break any of the rules.
I'm adventurous, but there are limits.
So that's not good for me.
Oh, it's just advice.
I've got my eye on you, Scott.
Hey, I'm well behaved. And respectful.
Look at that red. It's so beautiful. Look at the contrast with the mountains in the background. Oh, I just love it. And you see those mountains in the background, you gotta keep in mind that they're 18,000 foot mountains. And everyone's walking clockwise, and they're walking around the temple, which is called a kora, which is not a circumnavigation, as we kept saying, it's a circumambulation.
Circumambulation.
We performed many koras during our very brief visit to Lhasa, because again, really on a tight time frame to get it to base camp. And if any of you go, just please don't do the whirlwind tour that we did. Take more time and spend a full week at least in Lhasa. My goodness.
Absolutely. It would be a shame to not see the rest of Tibet, but it would be worth it to just see Lhasa, if you know what I mean. Do you get the same feeling?
Oh, yeah. So these are all religious pilgrims, because again, the temple, the Jokhang, is the, like Scott said, the heart of Tibetan Buddhism.
Lapsang, our guide, seems to be really, really cool. He grew up here in Lhasa, and he does tours all the time. He says that this is the busy season, so he doesn't get any rest. He just had 3 months of what he kind of calls lounging time, where, if I understood him right, he teaches English. I guess all the school kids have the winter off from school, and so he takes the opportunity when all of those facilities are available to go in and teach English. And so that's pretty cool. So his English is very good, and so he should have a lot to tell us, and it's going to be good. But I have to say that Scott and I are both a little bit on edge with our bellies right now, and you know, with the altitude, you can definitely feel the altitude. You know you're up at 12,000 feet, and all that's going to do is exacerbate anything that might be growing in our guts right now. So kind of the thing is to kind of keep an eye on it. And personally, I decided not to feed the fire this morning, so I didn't eat very much, and I'm starving. And one of the things that I learned from my last trip, I learned this from Ben, is that when you get up to altitude, you don't really want to eat anything. So you have to take along foods that are palatable for you to eat, even when you're not really wanting to eat. So I have a whole bunch of cookies and all kinds of stuff, which I'm finally going to dig in. Scott's been eating them for the past 4 days, but I haven't touched them. I had maybe one oatmeal cookie. So Little Debbie goes a long way in Tibet to make you feel more comfortable.
I think Little Debbie was Buddhist.
These are dark crunches. They're very good. So here's another tip that I've learned traveling with electronics over the years.
This is a very good tip, everyone.
Most of these places have just a couple of outlets in the room, if even two, maybe even just one. And a lot of time you've got, you want to charge your iPod, you want to charge your camera, you want to charge your computer, stuff like that. And so it's hard to jockey them back and forth and make sure that you get everything charged. So one of the stupid things that I thought of was to bring along a power strip, because as long as you can adapt the plug on the end of the power strip, you then don't even need plug adapters for all of your other stuff. You just plug them into the power strip. So here's the plug with the adapter running into a regular old power strip. These are all American here, so we don't need any of the adapters, and it works out really well. You can plug a ton of stuff in here, and it's really great when you have a generator, because generators only have 2 outlets usually, maybe 4. But then if you have 4 outlets, it means you have a lot of friends all wanting to charge their iPods.
Which is very true. All right, so next week the episode will contain us actually visiting the temple, and it's really beautiful. Oh, I had no idea it was going to be as ornate and as just stunning as it turned out being. And so this next week's episode actually just takes place, just in the next hour during this day that this episode took place in. So, do you remember what your feeling was when you first got into the Jalkong?
I do. I remember reminding myself this was a deeply religious place for people, and just trying to remain respectful, but thinking it smelled very much like butter.
Yeah, butter lamps, butter everywhere.
Butter lamps everywhere.
And this is also going to begin the fact that I can't film. It's not proper to film all of these religious artifacts and everything. So there's going to be a lot that's going to have to be left to your imagination in a lot of these temples and these in the Potala Palace. When we get to there, you can't film inside of them. You can't take photographs. So there's so much that from this series that is truly missing, because you really just need to go and see it with your own eyes, and it's very difficult to put into words just how amazing the stuff that I can't film is. It's mind-blowing. So again, next week we see some really great stuff, and you get a really good cultural tour. And Lobsang was just fantastic, and he really gave us a lot of information. So I look forward to sharing that with everyone next week. So as always, Scott, thanks so much.
John, thank you.
All right, next week, the cultural tour truly begins. So we'll see you then. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every week. If you enjoy watching and would like to show your support, then take a look at my website. Aside from having lots of additional blog entries from the expedition updated every week, there's this little donation button on every page. Now, many of you have pressed that button, and your generous contributions are helping to cover my hosting fees. If you haven't donated but would like to, then just contribute any amount. In return, I'll give you access to the video and audio dispatches I sent out while we were actually at Everest. It's pretty interesting stuff. Contribute $25 or more, and I'll even throw in an iPod-compatible version of the film Everest: The Other Side. That's the project the entire podcast here is based on. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywu.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.